Book 1, The Moonhaven Saga, Episode 2. Fire. That's my last memory of home. It didn't shine, it devoured. Walls, voices, everything I loved, swallowed whole. It devoured the night, the sky, the air itself, everything it touched turning to cinder before it could even scream. Heat rolled through the streets in waves so fierce, breath was torn from my lungs. Every sound blurred together, the crack of timber, the shatter of pottery, the whimpering of animals, until it was all one voice, one endless cry of dying things. I remember trying to reach the well. That's where everyone ran when the first sparks fell from the mountain. Buckets in hands, prayers in their throats, but the fire reached faster than any of us could move. Roofs collapsed like paper, spilling embers that chased us through the alleys. The smell was the worst. Burning pitch, wet straw, and something darker, heavier, the scent of people turning to ash. It clung to my hair, my skin, and my memories. I think it still does. I saw faces through the smoke. My neighbors, my teachers, the children who used to follow me to the river. One by one, they vanished into the fire. No screams lasted long enough. I tried to pull anyone free, but my hands slipped on burned wood and blood. The body didn't move. Nothing moved except the flames. When I realized I was alone, truly alone, I ran. The fire chased me through the forest, wind howling through the trees like the breath of something alive. Sparks leapt from my clothes as I stumbled over roots slick with ash. Behind me, the village was collapsing into itself. Homes, lives, and laughter, all gone in a single heartbeat. The sound of it stayed with me long after the glow disappeared beyond the hills. By the time the storm broke, the world smelled of rain, smoke, and loss. I crawled into a hollow under an old tree and watched the rain hiss against the burning valley until the flames went dark, and when dawn came, there was nothing left. No footprints, no birds, only the silence of something that had ended. I don't remember how long I lay there before the riders found me. They came at dusk, silver armor glinting beneath the twin moons, banners of Moonhaven trailing behind. I thought they were ghosts. I didn't move when they dismounted, didn't speak when one of them knelt beside me. Only when the queen herself lifted my chin did I blink. Still breathing, she said softly. The fire missed one. Her voice was calm, but her eyes, a pale, steady, held of sorrow. I didn't understand that. She wrapped her cloak around me, the scent of cold steel and lavender, chasing away the smoke. I remember the feel of her gauntlet on my shoulder, warm despite the rain. Come, child, she murmured. There is nothing left for you here. She was right. My village was gone. Every name I ever known had been turned to dust. She was right. My village was gone. Every name I'd ever known had been turned to dust. I was all that remained, a single ember in the ashes. The ride to Moonhaven comes to me now only in flashes, broken frames of memory that never fit together. The rhythmic thud of hooves on wet earth, the sound of the Queen's soldiers speaking in whispers, afraid of the silence that followed us, the smell of damp leather and healing salves, the rain hitting my face until I couldn't tell if I was crying or not. Sometimes when the horses stopped, I caught the faint shimmer of fire on the horizon, another village burning in the distance. Each time the Queen's jaw tightened, but she said nothing, neither did I. There was nothing left to say. Somewhere between exhaustion and grief, I made a promise. Not aloud, and not to her, but to the hollow place where my heart used to be. Never again, never again would I let myself be that helpless girl in the flames. Never again would I stand by while others burned. If the world could take everything from me, then I would become someone the world could never break. By the time we reached Moonhaven's gates, my tears had dried to salt. I was no longer a child of that lost village. I was something else entirely, something that had survived when it shouldn't have. They call it the Age of Shadow now, the reign of the Dark Warlock. Few still dare speak his name. Fewer still stand against him. I once did. I once believed that courage would be enough. I was a child then, a girl with a stolen blade and a heart full of fury. I thought the world could be carved back into the shape it was meant to be. If only I had struck hard enough. I was wrong. I failed. That failure never left me. It lives beneath my skin, like a whisper, soft and venomous. Weakness. That was the lesson the fire taught me. And weakness is a luxury I can no longer afford. The warlock spreads his domain through fear. He burns what he cannot rule, corrupts what he cannot kill. His armies are not of men, but of echoes. Corpses hollowed out by magic, puppets of hate and hunger. Each step he takes leaves the land poisoned, the sky dimmer. Kingdom after kingdom falls. Hope itself has become a superstition, a name people don't say aloud anymore. Only a few still resist his hand. Only a few still remember what the moonlight felt like before it turned red. One of those kingdoms is Moonhaven, my refuge, my cage, and my crown. The queen found me years ago, half dead among the ashes of what was once my home. She saw something in me when I had nothing left, not a frightened orphan, but a spark. She gave me a name, a title, a reason to live. Now she asks something greater. Now she asks me to save what remains of the world. I have spent years preparing for this day, shaping myself until bone and habit answer like steel. I am the blade the queen asked for, forged, sharpened, tempered by everything I survived. Sword in one hand, moonlight in the other. I have learned how to make both obey me. At 19, I am to be Moonhaven's heir, not to a throne of gold and songs, but to a duty that tastes of ash. They will call me the blade that cuts through the dark. I will wear that name like armor. I cannot falter, not now, not when a single misstep will loosen everything the queen has cobbled together. The soldiers will still wake at dawn, the refugees pressed into hovels, the cries that stop when I pass. If I fail, they fail with me. The queen's faith is a strange, dangerous thing. She looks at me as if she can see the future already, balanced on my shoulders, and the conviction in her eyes is heavier than any war helm. That belief terrifies me more than dying, because death is an end I can meet and measure. Her belief asks of me a life lived outward, a life that must never bend. To lead is to be relied upon, to be the place others set their hopes like lanterns. I did not take that on lightly, so I have not learned regret. I have learned resolve. The old failure still whispers beneath my skin, but I have taught myself to answer with plans, with drills, with the small mercies of discipline. Where once fury led, now purpose guides. Where once I saw my weakness and knuckled under, now I treat weakness as an enemy to be outmaneuvered, not a shadow to be carried. Tonight, the moons will rise over Moonhaven the way they always have, pale, indifferent, and patient. I will let their light steady me. When the warlock shadow reaches for us, I will strike, not because I'm afraid, but because I am determined. That, more than any blade, is the thing I spent my life becoming.